Okay friends, in this small lecture I want to talk and argue with you about some important tips when it comes to some hosting providers that you will be used to create your own email marketing system. Of course, you can stick to Amazon Web Services as I showed you in this course, but you may want to use maybe Contabo, Hostwind, DigitalOcean and so on. In this course I showed you how to build your Power MTA servers on Amazon Web Services. But what you have to take care of is the following points. When it comes to Amazon, when you create a new machine, it will be assigned an automatic IP address. This IP will change automatically if you stop and run the machine again. So to fix this issue, you can simply don't stop the machine and keep it running, and you can reboot the machine through PuTTY through the command line only. But if you want to be on the safe side, always use elastic IP addresses. So for the first IP, use elastic IP, and for the second IP, if you are using IP rotation, also assign a new elastic IP. So stick with elastic IPs if you want to save the IP configuration even if you stop and run the machine again. This is about Amazon Web Services. The second point about DigitalOcean. In DigitalOcean, when you create a machine, by default you can't create a new IP address. In DigitalOcean we have something called floating IP address. If you go to networking here, floating IPs, you can assign a floating IP to a certain machine. But this floating IP until today, until this date, while I'm recording this lecture, you can't use this floating IP as a secondary IP address for IP rotation. It will not work. Simply because this floating IP will be used as an anchor IP. Don't worry about the technical stuff now, but what you have to know is that floating IP attached to your machine will be as a logical IP that will not be shown physically on your machine, so you can't attach it and configure it inside Power MTA configuration. Just memorize this point if you want to configure your Power MTA server, your SMTP inside DigitalOcean. You can stick with DigitalOcean but without IP rotation, which is only a good choice. IP rotation is not obligatory anyway. The third thing I want to mention, when you use other services like maybe Contabo or maybe Hostwind, when you create a new adapter, you need to attach this adapter manually. This IP must be attached manually to this machine. So for that, I will attach a small document containing 2 or 3 commands that if you are using Contabo, you need to use to attach this second IP if you want to configure IP rotation. So that's it. This is what I want to clarify about other hosting providers. You can go with whatever hosting provider you want, but you need to make sure that it allows SMTP ports, because you are going to use SMTP to send emails, so it must allow port 25 by default. And you want to make sure it allows multiple IP addresses if you want to configure IP rotation. That's it. Thank you and see you later.